Before we start today's video, please give us a thumbs up. It tells the YouTube algorithm that you like what you see here, and then they should show it to more people. So today's video is on a look inside a $50,000 foldable tiny house. Okay, and I messed up the audio for that, but that's okay. Okay, so it's a look inside a $50,000 foldable tiny house. Now, foldable tiny houses, to me, it means that it is a tiny house, and then somehow you unfold it and it's a house. So maybe it has furniture inside, maybe it doesn't. Which, if it has furniture inside, that makes no sense to me. But it's a foldable tiny house, and we're about to see it.
Houses or houses built in factories really caught my eye a few months ago because they seemed a lot less expensive than regular houses. But when I really looked into it, I was totally wrong. A lot of these prefabs are just as expensive, if not more, than regular houses. Ooh. However, I recently stumbled across one that's only $50,000. And even crazier, it can be assembled in about an afternoon.
Wait.
Only $50,000. And even crazier, it can be
It does look like it's an unfolding, because if you can see here, it's literally coming up. Weird.
Assembled in about an afternoon. So today we're gonna take a look at this more affordable prefabricated home. So like I said, this is $50,000 for essentially a 20 by 20 studio with a kitchen and bathroom.
Not bad.
Foldable basically is our attempt to solve the housing affordability and create, a new type of building system that can hopefully dramatically lower housing costs for the entire.
Ooh.
Dramatically lower housing.
It's literally folding out. How does it stay in?
Costs for the entire world.
Many prefabs are built in a factory, but then still need weeks or even a couple months to assemble on site. Boxables is different because it truly comes in a box that you can assemble within an hour. All you have to do after that is hook up your electrical and plumbing.
That's pretty fast. I wonder what's the wait time in the factory.
The different walls of this prefab are on hinges, so you can see that it folds down and then they prop it back up to get that main part of the prefab out. Ooh. Obviously, they have to use some equipment, but it's pretty minimal compared to what other prefabs and traditional houses use, and they only needed it for an hour. And then the other...
It's like those cubes that you fold out this way and then you fold down. That's pretty neat.
Walls just swing out, and I actually tried it myself and found it was super easy to do. Assembling the roof is a little more effort, so we didn't do it today, but all in all, this is a home that can truly be set up within an afternoon.
Can you pick it up and move it like an RV? That'd be cool, because you can rent a plot of land, then you can put the box there, and then when you want to move or something, you just fold the thing back up and then move it and then put it into the next spot. That'd be nice. And that could be part of temporary homes, couldn't it?
Which is pretty insane. Easier than IKEA furniture.
Starting with this first unit, we're calling it the casita. So it's a small 20 by 20 room module. The first one in our system, and hoping to sell thousands of them into the California market to be used as little backyard ADU houses.
So let's take a look inside this casita model. It's very similar to a studio apartment. It's 400 square feet and it folds down small enough to actually be shipped on a highway. In the front, you'll find a sitting area. They just put a small couch here and a TV. And then walking in, you'll see the kitchen and the sleeping area. The kitchen has all the appliances you would expect of a regular home. I will say it's not super high-end modern design, but keep in mind this is a $50,000 prefab. So here we have the kitchen. Amazingly, this place comes with the kitchen. You unfold it and this is all here. You just have to move the fridge and a couple other things.
How do you have a kitchen in a foldable place? Is it like origami where it shifts? Sorry, is it like origami that shifts or something? Because that does not make sense to me.
It's a solid kitchen. I mean, it is a full kitchen. It's got an oven, microwave, dishwasher, fridge, really everything. I gotta say, personally, I feel the countertops are a little cheap looking, but this
It's foldable, but what do you expect?
is really the cost-effective option. They're not going for the luxury high-end. They went with a laminate sheet that is $65 for a 4x8, compared to something like quartz, which is going to be $50 per square foot. Sure, they could have gone with something a little nicer, but it's just not going to stay within that $50,000 price.
Not gonna stay within the $50,000 price range. Also, you gotta think of weight, moving, and whether or not it's gonna break when you're folding and unfolding. So yeah, then I agree. It's not that good if you use such a nice thing for the countertops.
Range, and that is something that.
But you can't make it with cheap materials either, because that will bend and break too. So
You can upgrade, you can customize and change this later. The goal was to make this an actually affordable base model, so that's why they went with these kind of less expensive options. So the style they went with is pretty traditional, but you can imagine how if you put like some quartz in here, it could look really upscale. And the fact that it all folds out is kind of insane. I've never heard of anything like that.
yeah,
I feel
me
like the
neither.
cabinets were fine. They're totally on par with what you find in a lot of apartments and different houses.
Like, okay, that's another thing. It's got glass in there. The doors are made out of glass. Do you have to like install those when you unfold it? Because it says everything is together when you unfold it.
Is it for me, you know, it's the countertops for me, I gotta be honest. But I totally get it, I respect it, you know, they're going for the affordable option, so they've got to do that. Adjacent to the kitchen is a sleeping area with a built-in closet unit. They fit a queen-size bed in here. I'm sure you could fit even a little bigger of a bed if you wanted. They added a good amount of windows on this side, so you can imagine if we weren't filming this in a factory, it would get some nice natural light. They added this closet in the middle of the prefab to block off the
This kind of house maybe is good for like the minimalist or a bachelor that doesn't buy a lot of stuff. Like, it's okay for like little tiny parties and then the people go home. But like, that's not a lot of closet space at all.
sleeping area
Is that a fireplace?
from the living area, and also to provide
Yeah, that's not a lot of room. Like, I know guys that have a way bigger closet than that, and then girls, of course. And then you gotta have a shoe room. And then I know some people, guy or girl, whatever, they have a lot of shoes. So,
storage, so it can fit some stuff. It's obviously not as big as a regular closet, but it is kind of on par with what you'd find with the
winter clothes, summer clothes.
studio apartment. I think it's a good little storage solution. I like that it has the lights and
I would like it if the drawers were deeper, because that looks like 2 inches. 2 inches is not, 2 inches is not a lot. It's like, what, this is about 1 inch, this is 2 inch, this is not a lot. Not a lot at all.
side of it. Personally, I don't think I could fit all of my stuff in here, but this is totally customizable. I think they actually added this on later, so I don't think it would ship with this. And then, of course, there is a bathroom. They went
They have a no pooping sign on the toilet.
with that same kind of countertop, and you know, they did make this look pretty modern on a budget. This does look decently nice, I think, for the amount that they spent. Again, it's not my choice of countertop per se, but
Is that the touchscreen mirror? I wonder how much that costs.
you gotta admit, like with the
I want to find out. What is a touchscreen mirror? Okay. Touch screen mirror. Yo, that thing costs around like $2,000. I don't have money for that. Oh.
mirror and everything, it does look pretty modern. One thing you'll notice in here is that there are hinges on the ceiling. Because it folds up, those are just kind of there permanently. It's similar to the other prefab that had some wires on the ceiling. I think that's just something that a lot of these prefabs have. So I don't think this is necessarily such a bad thing, but it does make it clear that this is not a typical home. It's just a giveaway that this thing can fold up if it needs to. One thing you wouldn't know by looking at it is that the walls of this casita are made to handle just about anything.
Every superhero has an origin story. We all got our start somewhere. For us, it was the U.S. Air Force.
That's insane.
The house is
Yeah, it doesn't even change colors or anything.
The house is fireproof? That's nice. They said this thing was in California, so that is like really nice. Look at all the stuff they have in the back here. A lift. They've got a nice organization system. That's cool. And there's their air compressor. Hey.
While nothing is fully fireproof, they did use non-combustible materials to make this incredibly fire resistant, which is really important since they plan on putting these in California. The walls are totally different than a normal house that are lumber. So it kind of makes a mark, but that's like it. This is made of both steel and a type of foam, so...
Why is she using the angled end? She's gonna break the tool. She's gonna make it blunt.
It is pretty durable. I'm hitting it with a sledgehammer and just barely making it down.
That's not a sledgehammer. I forget what it's called, but that is not a sledgehammer.
And
This whole entire wall here is all laminated in one single solid block. These are bent by a basically by a robot, so they'll be laser cut and bent before anyone even touches them. It's not a bunch of pieces of lumber kind of nailed together, so it's rock solid.
one thing I think is pretty cool and similar to shipping containers is you can stack these on top of each other and connect them to make an even bigger prefab. So here's one where they connected a few of them together to make multiple rooms and a bigger living room. They also added upgraded foldable doors, so it definitely looks more high-end. So you can see how you could take that basic casita, connect some together, upgrade certain parts, and really make it a lot nicer looking if you wanted to.
We're going to end up rolling out a full building system where we're basically mass producing standardized room modules in the factory that then stack and connect in the field to build almost any custom building. Hopefully we'll be able to stack them, you know, up to five to 7 stories high. You'll be able to connect them endlessly. We'll have
Putting in 5 on top of each other. I'm thinking about like a Lego, and then you stack them, and like if the wind blows so much or there's an earthquake, that's gonna bend, so you're gonna have to have really strong connecting stuff on each section, or you're gonna have to have like, I would want 4 rods at least in the corner so it doesn't bend that much, but then it's going to fall down like a log if it does fall, so I don't know.
different sized modules with different interior configurations, and basically endless combinations of those.
So like I said, you can customize it and add in these really high-end doors, but they are pretty expensive, so you're gonna definitely be climbing past $50,000 at that point.
One of the models that we already
So 50,000 is like a base model, I'm guessing?
made, we had a sponsor who gave us a big multi-slide glass window. So basically we swapped out the whole front wall was all a glass multi-slide window.
Oh, like the doors that you just open
Yep,
up?
exactly, and
Love those.
really nice upscale. I think the window might have cost more than the entire house though.
Right, so when you're trying to do an affordable one, you can't go and add things like the quartz countertops and like the floor to ceiling windows, because that would just make it.
Yeah, we
I really want to see the kitchen folded up.
don't want to go crazy with that stuff.
I want to see how it folds. I really do, but I doubt they'll show it.
But the system is very customizable, so we kind of want to be hands-off and just produce
Yo, that's nice.
a standardized unit in the factory with repeatability and build the same thing over and over so we can get a lot of efficiency and high quality and low
It looks like a typical house inside, according to those 3D models.
cost. But if people want to modify these once they're on site, the system totally works for that.
I think, Boxable, in my opinion, isn't as beautiful as the cover prefab. That one is just so modern, stunning, really high-end options. They did everything you can imagine to upgrade it, but it is $200,000, so it doesn't really make that much sense for most people. You're really only going to find these in the backyards of multi-million-dollar homes. They're not really for the average person.
Oh, so it's like a little vacation house from your house. If you're that rich, why would you buy this then? You would rather go on vacation somewhere else. Doesn't make sense. Oh, what would make sense is like a kid trying to have alone time from life and all, and they just hide in here and try to like get used to the idea of being independent. Maybe that would work. And like still be close to home if they need something from home, but they can. It's like a big giant dollhouse. But you can actually pretend to be something.
Boxable may not be as aesthetically beautiful, but it was way more affordable and it assembles faster. It just seems more accessible for people, and honestly, I think you could upgrade certain things and make it look a lot better. When you take into consideration that it's only $50,000, they did a really good job making this thing look modern. What made you guys go for the affordable prefabs versus these ultra modern, like really high-end ones that you see?
Yeah, our goal here was to solve a huge problem that exists. There's a shortage of affordable housing, so if we can efficiently mass produce these, we're going to solve a lot of problems. We're going to bring costs down overall for everyone. The way we look at building construction market.
Is that one unit? This is pretty good.
We see that this is the last big kind of pre-factory industry, so there's a huge opportunity to correct that. All the other products in our modern world, like iPhones and cars and sneakers and all that, they're low cost and high quality because they're mass produced using assembly line principles in a factory. That has not translated into housing. So we basically re-engineered a system that we think is compatible with factory mass production so that we can hopefully crank these out faster and at a lower cost than anyone's ever done before.
People compare it to a mobile home.
Yeah.
Me earlier in this video.
But in reality, it's quite the opposite. Because we wanted this building system to work anywhere on the planet, we had to engineer it for all the different.
See, he's hitting it with the bended side, not the pointy side.
Climate issues. So
not like it makes much of a difference, but still.
High wind in Florida or earthquakes in California.
I can see the mobile home comparison because this base model, it does kind of look and feel a little like a mobile home. It's all in the finishes though. When they have the upgraded windows and doors and cabinets.
Yeah, when you change the makeup, everything's going to look different.
And everything, it really feels nothing like a mobile home. It feels very high end. So that is a look at a more affordable prefab. Let me know what you guys thought of it.
Okay, that's interesting. That seems to be the end of the video. So that's pretty interesting. You build a place inside a factory, you move it, you put it where you need to put it, and then it's essentially a big box that you fold out into a cube. And then you put whatever you want inside. And then if you don't like how the box looks like on the outside or the inside, you can just paint it or put panels on it or something, which is quite interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so if you enjoyed this topic, then give us a like. That way we know if you like this kind of video, or you want to see more of it and stuff like that. If you like my videos overall, you want to see more, then subscribe. If you want to get notified whether or not you're on YouTube or not, whether I have an upload, then press the bell icon so it can have a little ring. Thank you very much. Bye bye.